Hello, everybody. Welcome to Townsend 505. Today, me and Adam will be reviewing the third and fourth albums from the Eagles.
Yeah,
Uh, if you remembered a while back ago, like a very, very long time ago, in July, we did the first two albums, self titled, and of course, Desperado. Uh, Today, we're going to be doing On the Border and One of These Nights.
yeah.
Uh, how are you doing over there in England this evening?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm getting a bit cold now. It's no longer summer,
Mm,
which I'm a bit bummed out about because I was enjoying the warm weather. But
hmm
yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this. It's been ages since we did the first episode.
Yeah, it's been a while. Glad we were able to do it now, though.
Yeah.
Uh, but you have any brief thoughts on the border before we start reviewing it?
Well, I wasn't really expecting much from the album. I didn't even know any songs from it going into it. But I, I thought it was I thought it was an excellent Eagles album. It's a very underrated one. I'm surprised not a lot of people really talk about it.
Okay. As for me, I thought it was a good album. I didn't think it was one of their best albums, but there's some songs that I thought were really good on this album. Specifically, my top five. I thought my top five was really good. Um, Everything else, like right besides my top five, it's not one of my favorite albums from them, but I could definitely see how you think it's underrated. Though it's definitely an album that I thought was pretty good.
Yeah,
But we start the album off with "Already Gone."
yeah, I think it's a fantastic way of opening this this album. I don't think it could have started with a better track, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought this was a fantastic way to open up the album. I thought, man, this is a great song. Of course, after Desperado, which if you didn't remember, I gave that a 10 out of 10. Both that and the debut album, and
Yeah,
of course, going into this album, I expected a lot because of the first two albums. Yeah, this is a really great way to open up the album. I really enjoyed it as well. I agree. Really good vocals from Glenn Fry.
yeah,
Now we move on to "You Never Cried Like a Lover."
yeah. I think this is another fantastic song on the album. It's one of the ballads on the album, and yeah, I think it's really excellent.
Nice. Yeah, I thought this was a fantastic ballad on the album. The Henley's vocals were amazing. Great way to follow up the first track on the album, in my opinion. I thought, man, this is another great song on the album. After listening to the first two songs, I expected a lot from the album, of course. So yeah, this is a great first two songs on the album. I really enjoyed it. Now we move on to the next track, "Midnight Flyer."
Yeah, I think Midnight Fire is really good. It's not as good as the first two tracks on the album, but yeah, it's one I think it's it's quite enjoyable.
Yeah, this is like to me, this is one of my favorite songs on the album. This is another great song on the album. To be their three for three on the album, I thought this was another fantastic song on the album. I really quite enjoyed it. Now we move on to the next song, "My Man."
Yeah, another one of my favorite songs on the album. I think it's excellent. It's one of the better Eagles songs I've heard.
Yeah, this is another fantastic song on the album. Yeah, they're four for four on the album so far. Yeah, I thought this was another fantastic song on the album. I certainly agree with you, Adam. Again, yeah, I thought this was another amazing song on the album. Now we close out the first side of the album with the "On the Border."
Yeah, the title track. I find it quite interesting that you got Henley Fry, Meisner, and Leon doing vocals on this. And yeah, this is one of the rockers on the album. It's not one of my favorite Eagles rockers, but I still do really like it.
My opinion, this is one of my least favorite songs on the album. Uh, I didn't really
It's
care for it.
towards the bottom for me as well.
Yeah, it's I didn't really care for it. It's kind of a mediocre rock song in my opinion. Especially after the first four songs, I thought this was kind of a disappointing way to close out the first side of the album. It's not terrible, but I find this to be one of their more mediocre songs, in my opinion, of course. Now we flip the record over. We get to James Dean.
Yeah, I wonder who that's about.
Oh yeah, I wonder too.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this is a really good rock song. Pretty interesting way of starting just the second side. It's not one I've got a lot to really say about though.
Yeah, There's three singles on this album. Already Gone, James Dean, and Best of My Love. My opinion, this is the weakest of the three singles. I feel like, in my opinion, I think you never cry like a lover should have been chosen as a single instead of this. Uh, Again, it's not terrible, but it's a good song, but it's not a song that I would see myself going back to unless listening to the album. Now we move on to the next song, Old 55.
Yeah, we're going back to excellent songs on the album now, but this isn't actually an Eagles original. It's a Tom Waits song, but I actually prefer the Eagles version. And yeah, I think it's a really awesome song.
Cool. Yeah, I thought this was, again, to me, this was just a good song. Wasn't, again, not terrible, nothing really stands out about it though. Like I enjoyed it at the moment, but I don't really see myself going back to the song either. To me, there's like a big stretch of this album that I thought was just either mediocre or just okay, in my opinion. Yeah, this it was just an okay song for me. Now we follow that up with "Is It True?"
Yeah, I don't know. Is it true?
Is it
But yeah,
true?
I think this is a really great song on the album. Yeah, I'm happy it's included on here. But it's probably middle of the road on the overall ranking of the songs on the album.
hmm I thought this was an okay song again. Uh, this sounds like the beginning guitar riff sounds like something that George Harrison would do on one of his solo albums. Uh, which I thought that was probably the best part of the song. The rest of it was just, again, it was just good. It's not nothing really like makes me go wow, like I have to listen to this again. Again, it's a good song. It's not really a song that I personally would go back to, but I could see why if a lot of people would like the song, I would get it in my opinion. But to me, it's just an okay song. Now we move on to second last song, "Good Day in Hell."
Spoiler alert: this is my least favorite song on the album, but I still really like it. It's just not one that I would ever revisit, to be honest.
I am in full agreement with you, Adam. This is to me also the weakest song on the album. Instantly when I heard it, I'm like, I thought it was just a mediocre song. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, these last four songs were just mediocre to me, from On the Border all the way to this song. Um, the highs on this album are really high, but man, there's just way too much weak songs for me, in my opinion. But we do close out with the single. Like I said, there are three singles. The third one being "Best of My Love."
Yeah, this is my favorite of the singles. Yeah, I think it's a perfect ballad and a perfect way of closing this album.
Yeah, to me, this was easily the best song on side two by far. Um, I'm glad they closed this album with this song because it definitely gives good closure to this album, especially after the last four songs. Yeah, this was a really good song. I quite enjoyed it. Nothing really much more to say. It's just a nice song to end off the album.
Yeah.
But what's your top five going to be?
Well, I'll get to my top five then. So my number five is Already Gone. My number four is You Cry Like a Lover. Number 3 is Best of My Love. And number 2 is Old 55. And my favourite is My Man.
Cool. My top, before I give my top five, I'm gonna give one honorable mention. Is It True? It's an honorable
Yeah,
mention.
that's mine too.
Number five, You Never Cry Like a Lover. Number four, The Best of My Love. Number three, Already Gone. Number two, My Man. Number one, Midnight Flyer.
Cool.
It's my favorite on the album. Okay, so that concludes that. What's your score going to be for this album?
Well, I gave Desperado a 9.5, and I'm also going to give this a 9.5 as well.
Cool. To me, I don't think this album is nearly as strong as the last two, which I gave both 10 out of 10s. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. It's not terrible, but to me, there are some weak songs on this album that kind of put it from being one of their best albums. Now, what's your brief thoughts going to be for One of These Nights?
Yeah, we go into the classic Eagles period now. With One of These Nights. Yeah, I think it's another excellent Eagles album. In fact, I like it even more than on the Border.
Cool. Yeah, I thought this was way better than On the Border. This might be my favorite Eagles album. Either that or Desperado. Those two are fighting to be my favorite album from them. This album is an album that grew on me. I thought this album was just good when I first heard it, but revisiting this album for this series kind of opened my eyes. And yeah, this is like one of their best albums in my opinion. This was really, really good. But let's get right into the track list. Open up the album with the title track.
Yeah, One of These Nights. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant way of starting this album. It's got a sort of like a disco sound to it. I can imagine the Bee Gees singing this, and when you get the chorus of the song, it's sort of them trying to do the Bee Gees really. Yeah, I think it's an excellent song.
Oh, this song was so good. I love the bass at the beginning with the
Yeah.
I mean, it's like so funky. It's like you said. It sounds like something that the Bee Gees would do. Of course, me being a gigantic Bee Gees fan, I'm gonna love that because I love disco Bee Gees. I'm a sucker for disco Bee Gees. This was such a great song. Spoiler alert, this definitely made my top five on the album. It's really that good.
Yeah, it's mine too.
Really good. Now we move on to the next song, Too Many Hands.
Yeah, Too Many Hands. I think it's a really great song. It's towards the bottom for me on the album, but I still do really enjoy it.
Oh, so for me, this is like one of my favorites on the album. I like the acoustic guitar in the beginning. Again, I love the vocals.
That's probably my favorite part of the song is that acoustic guitar.
That's fair. I mean, I thought the vocals were really good too. Yeah, I thought this was like a really good song on the album, but I could get why this wasn't one of your favorites. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. Now we get to the next song, Hollywood Waltz.
Yeah, Hollywood Waltz. One of my favorite songs on the album. I think it's a very underrated Eagles song. It's one of the more underrated songs in their catalogue. Yeah, I think it's a perfect love song on the album.
Yeah, this is another outstanding song on the album. I don't know why they do it, but I feel like the Eagles just come up with some of the best first sides ever. I mean, these first three songs are so good. I mean, man, I thought this was another fantastic song on the album. For me, this is another song that made my top five. I really liked it. Now we close out side one with the Journey of the Sorcerer.
Yeah, the instrumental on the album. And at first, I wasn't too crazy on it. I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought it's a bit too long, but revisiting it, I actually thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it's on the album, but it definitely could be shortened by a couple of minutes.
For me, this is my least favorite track on the album, but that doesn't mean it's terrible by any means. Because I thought this was an amazing instrumental. Of course, I don't think the Eagles are necessarily going to be recreating YYZ by any means, but
No.
this was still a great instrumental on its own right. I do agree. It's almost 7 minutes long. No reason why it has to be that long, but it won't affect my score on the album because there's just so many great songs on this album. Now we flip the record over and we get to another single on the album, Lion Eyes.
But I can see why it's a single. Because it's one of the better tracks on the album. I think I saw when I saw Big Leg Eagles. I think they sang this one live. I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, I love this one.
Oh, this was an amazing song. I think this is like easily one of the best songs on the album. It's funny, this is like slightly shorter than Journey on a Sorcerer, but it feels a lot shorter than the Journey of a Sorcerer because it keeps my attention throughout. And yeah, I thought this was like one of their better. This is like one of my favorite Eagles songs in general. It's really one of their best songs that they've ever made. I'm very glad. I'm very glad they chose this as a single. It's like because I really liked. This was always one of my favorite Eagles songs. Even when I wasn't as crazy on this album, I still really liked Lion Eyes. Now we move on to the last single, Take It to the Limit.
Yep, take it to the limit. I love it. Probably, I think I like it even more than Lion Eyes, but I like them both nearly the same. I think they both have fantastic choruses. Yeah, I love Take It. I love Take It to the Limit.
Yeah, this is another top five song for me. This is another great song on the album. Again, I think the vocals on this song were absolutely fantastic on here. I really liked the production on it too. This was, to me, another just fantastic song on the album.
Yeah,
Now we move on to the next song, Visions.
so you have back to back fantastic songs with Lion Eyes and Take It to the Limit. And Visions is my least favorite song on the album, but I still do really like it. It just gets a bit stuck with all those other fantastic songs around it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's tough ranking the songs on this album because if this was on the previous album, this would easily be in my top five. Probably would be like if this song was on the last album, this would probably be the best song on that album, or at least one of the best songs on the album. But on this album, it's like one of my least favorite songs on the album because there's just so much great stuff on this album. Uh, but yeah, I think again the vocals on here is great. I think the production is again fantastic. To me, it reminds me of Crosby, Stills and Nash a little bit. Some of their songs remind me of them a little bit. The way that they harmonize, and of course, I'm all for that because I really like Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Yeah,
Well, now we continue on after the thrill is gone.
yeah, I think it's a really excellent song. I like it more than Visions, but I don't like it as much as Lion Eyes or Take It to the Limit though.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good song. Probably on the lower. This is my second least favorite track on the album. Again, not that it's not good or anything. I thought this was another fantastic song on the album, but again, just too much stiff competition on the album to have it in my top five.
Mhm.
Now we conclude the album with "I Wish You Peace."
Yeah, very peaceful way of ending the album. Yeah, I think it's a perfect way of concluding the album. The album's bookended with two fantastic songs of theirs.
Yeah, I really wish this could have been my top five, but barely didn't make it. Love the lush orchestra in it. This was another great song on the album. What a beautiful way to end off the album. I really
Agreed.
enjoyed it. But what's your top five gonna be?
Right, so my number five is the last track on the album, I Wish You Peace. My number four is Lion Eyes. My number three is the title track. My number two is Take It to the Limit. And my favorite is Hollywood Waltz.
Nice. I have one. Well, actually, I have three strong honorable mentions. I Wish You Peace, Visions, and After the Thrill Is Gone. My top five, though: number five, One of These Nights. Number four, Too Many Hands. I mean. Number three, Hollywood Waltz. Number two, Take It to the Limit. Number one, Lion Eyes. It's my favorite.
My honorable mention is After the Thrill Is Gone.
Great choice.
Yeah.
What's your score going to be?
Well, I'm going to give it. It's not my favorite Eagles album, but it's very close to being my favorite of theirs. I'm going to give it a 9.75 out of 10.
All right. For me, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. So this is the third time the Eagles get a 10 out of 10. Yeah, this was, to me, one of their best albums. This and Desperado are fighting to be my favorite. I might edge this one out a little bit because I think the strengths on this album were higher than the strengths on Desperado. But yeah, this is another fantastic Eagles album.
Yeah.
Next time me and Adam get together, we'll be discussing Hotel California and The Long Run.
Yeah.
But until then, what do you have any final thoughts before I close out?
Just thanks for having me on the channel once again. I look forward to episode 3. We're one step closer to ranking all these Eagles albums and revealing our top 5 songs of theirs.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, so the next two videos, the next one's going to be that review, and then the following one's going to be the last album review plus top 5 songs plus album ranking.
And retrospective.
Yep, and our retrospective as well.
Discography.
So yeah, 4 videos. That's pretty short series, which is nice. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Adam, for coming on my channel. Appreciate it. Later today, me, Briar, and Ryan from Ryan Cam, we're going to be reviewing Genesis Foxtrot. So keep a lookout on that video coming on tonight. But yeah, thank you guys for so much for watching, and see you next time. So long.